Okay.
Physical environment. The hazards in the college. So this could be falling objects, books falling off bookshelves, items falling from buildings. So students and staff members need to make sure that books are all secure on shelves so that injury can't be caused. And if there is construction work, precautions need to be in place, like areas need to be fenced off. Hand tools, this is mostly applies to the engineering and construction department. This can be solved by placing items securely in a holder where the machinery can't fall. Any machinery also needs guards to prevent any debris going into people's eyes. Moving vehicles, people have to take extra care as vehicles could be moving outside the grounds of the college. Things such as reversing delivery vehicles or cars, sticking to the pavements allocated and walkways will reduce the risk of being hit by a vehicle. Electrical equipment such as computers are an example, as each computer has to have a safety check which checks that all electrical systems are in good working order. This is the college's job to make sure this is done and make sure it's safe for use. The work desk, there could be sharp edges on the edge of the desk which could cause injuries to students or staff. It's again with the responsibility of the college to make sure that any problems are addressed. Trip hazards, anything such as a hole in the carpet could be seen as a trip hazard, so the college have to make sure that all walkways are safe and that people don't trip, as this could have repercussions such as people putting in a claim against the college. Evacuation assembly areas. In the event of a fire or other emergency, it is important that the people within the college know how to get out quickly and safely. This means the college has to have clearly marked emergency exits. Some members of staff at the college are trained fire marshals and are taught what to do in the event of a fire. Their job is to guide everybody out of the college to make sure nobody is left behind and that the doors are closed behind them to stop the spread of a fire. The evacuation point has to be far enough away from the main building to make sure that people are safe if there is a fire. The college, like many other businesses, have a large evacuation area where all people will meet in the event of a fire. People need to make sure that they leave the college quickly and safely. The fire marshals within the college will guide people towards the nearest fire exits and will show them to the safest route. People must listen to the fire marshals and what they are saying, as it is done for their own safety. The fire marshal will then check if the building is cleared and a head count will then be taken. Special arrangements. Disabled access to the college is vital, and it is important there is easy access for disabled people in the event of an emergency. Some form of arrangement should be in place for disabled people to enable them to evacuate quickly and safely. These include ramps, lifts or evacuation chairs. It's important that these items are regularly checked, as it could hinder their exit if they are not working, and major repercussions against the business could occur if somebody is injured or killed. Staff can only re-enter the building if it's declared safe. Site building work. There may be building work needed at the college from time to time. This may be taking out essential repairs on buildings. In order to reduce the risk of injury, extensive fire assessments will need to be produced to highlight any potential hazards that these building works may produce. The hazards may include dust coming from buildings, machinery, trip hazards or items falling. Protective clothing needs to be worn, such as hard hats and guards and equipment. And fences may need to be placed in order to stop students or other staff members walking into the construction zone. NNC has recently had construction work at the front of the college. Precautions were put in place as large fences were placed around the building work to prevent people tripping over on uneven surfaces and to stop the amount of dust. The majority of building work took place in the summer holidays, as most of the students and teachers were off, so it reduced the risk as there were less people there. To protect the safety of the workers, steel toe cap boots may be needed on some building sites. Off-site work. Not all workers work on the college grounds. All employees and workers have to be treated the same. For example, if an outside businessman comes into the college and gets injured, the college would still be liable. The same goes for NNC employees going to the other sites. Risk assessments will have to be taken, but the site they are visiting will be ultimately liable. Infestations. Organic infestations are when creatures get into a workplace. And examples include flies, cockroaches, ants, birds or foxes. This could be a problem under health and safety, especially when dealing with food, as it could affect the hygiene of the premises and it may put people off visiting the site. Animals such as rats or insects are usually an indicator of poor hygiene. People could also be allergic to certain animals, which would cause problems for staff and visitors. Infestations can also be prevented or the risk greatly reduced by producing risk assessments that can be carried out to make sure this doesn't happen. This can be done by keeping areas clean, by using the correct cleaning equipment and providing bins to place rubbish. Vermin infestation. This relates specifically to rats, mice and fleas. Professionals will be used to cope with the infestation, as they will be able to effectively solve the problem. Vermin can cause damage to the workplace as they can chew through furniture or wires. This could lead to a fire hazard. Rats, mice and fleas are also an indicator of poor hygiene, which may put customers off. The animals may defecate, which will increase the level of hygiene, decrease the level of hygiene, and this could lead to people getting ill. This may then lead to bigger repercussions, such as closure of the business or fines being given. If vermin are found, they need to be taken away quickly so it doesn't affect the cleanliness. This should be done humanely. This is most effectively done by getting an exterminator, as they are trained for the job. Rat traps could also be placed if there are rats to prevent them spreading. If fleas are found, they can cause serious irritation and are very hard to eradicate once they spread. This will then cause the need for an exterminator. Dampness and mould can cause serious health issues. Dampness may also come from having poor ventilation. Dampness and mould can also cause breathing problems for some people, and in some cases long-term respiratory problems. This can be solved by keeping areas clean and well ventilated. To prevent having further infestations, the area could be kept clean with no food lying about and all food boxes should be closed. Noise and atmospheric pollution. Employees have a duty to reduce the amount of noise within NNC. Noise pollution can cause hearing damage. Conditions such as tinnitus and stress can also be caused. It only applies to workers who are exposed to noise of 85 decibels or above. The areas of the college that could be subject to noise pollution could be the engineering and construction departments due to heavy machinery used. Hair and beauty also use hair dryers, so that the noise has to be limited to a maximum of 85 decibels, as it could cause these conditions. This can also be solved by soundproofing rooms or placing guards on equipment which will reduce noise. Fire alarms will sound in the event of an actual fire or test. These alarms need to be loud enough so everybody can hear in the event of a fire. Fire alarm tests will be done regularly, each Friday, to check the system is working. Atmospheric pollution is made up of particles in the air that can be breathed in, such as dust, fumes and gases. These can cause a lot of effects, such as long-term effects or short-term effects. The areas within the NNC that could produce atmospheric pollution could be the woodwork department, and which will cause dust or debris. Hair and beauty department will cause this when dealing with nails, as debris could come off, and fumes will come off chemicals. General dust needs to be considered, so the college has to be kept clean. This is done with cleaners coming in regularly every week. Dust, plaster and cement can all come from the construction department, and if any building work is taking place, there will be extra dust. Big fences can also be placed to keep the majority of dust away. Temperature within NNC. If an employee or a student has to work in an environment that is too hot, they could get chilled. They could get chilled or may become ill as a result. Similarly, if this is too warm, it could make the employee ill. It could also cause an unpleasant working environment, which will decrease morale and will make them not want to work. The minimum temperature allowed in the workplace is 16 degrees, but there is no maximum. College had to have a new heating system put in over the summer. This was done because the heating is on a timer, and it will be at a set temperature. This improves the heating, meaning students and staff will be more comfortable. The new system will then ensure that the college stays warm during winter and cool enough during the summer. Some of the colleges have new windows installed. This will help college stay warm over the summer and provide extra ventilation. Workplaces need to be properly ventilated so that employees and students can breathe fresh air when they are working. Simplest way of providing ventilation is by opening windows, but this may not be viable when it is winter and cold outside. To alleviate this, new air vents and extractor fans could be put in place to keep classrooms ventilated, which also decreases the chance of mould and dampness. In the places such as the motor department at the college, extractor fans are vital as they need to extract exhaust fumes in order to not cause any harm. The kitchens will also need adequate ventilation as cleaning equipment and bleach is used, which emit fumes which could cause harm. If the smell of the fumes is too strong for the extractor fans to handle, windows and doors should be easily opened in the need of extra air. Ventilation. If there is a problem with the windows within the college, this may lead to damp within the building, and this could cause structural damage and mould, which can be harmful. Damp can also be caused by a leak in the roof, and this could also lead to rain coming into the building. This will create a poor working environment for both students and staff, and this could also lead to them falling ill. Dehumidifiers can also be used to combat the damp, and mould can be specially treated by specialists. All leaks should be fixed so the problem doesn't happen again. Hygiene facilities. Washing facilities for staff and students should be in place if they are required. For example, in the gym area, a shower is required for people after activities. Toilets should be available for all people, and there are several located around the college on both floors. Where there is food prepared, there needs to be adequate cleaning facilities to ensure that it's fit for purpose and all work surfaces are clean. Within the bistro at NNC, all the staff wear aprons, hair nets, to make sure that there are no stray hairs getting into food, and the apron will prevent clothing from getting dirty. Rings and necklaces are removed within cooking and prep areas so that they don't collect bacteria or don't fall into any food. It is important that there are no cross-contamination of food, as if this is seen to be the case, people could become ill, or fines could be given, or even closure of the business. The kitchens will be regularly inspected by the health and safety, who will also give out hygiene ratings. It is important that the cleanliness is kept high, as the food and hygiene rating is seen by all potential customers. Personal cleanliness of staff is also vital, as they are representing the business, and if they are off-putting to the customer, they may not return. Equipment. There are many examples of safety equipment around the college. There is even a sprinkler system and fire extinguishers. Fire blankets are also there to isolate smaller fires. There are safety guards in the kitchen on things such as fryers and slicers that are located. In the classrooms and offices, there is equipment such as guillotines and shredders that could present potential risks. These items have to be used with care, and risk assessments could be made, especially if students are using these items. Face guards will also be supplied to students and staff if they are using potentially dangerous machinery. Maintenance. All equipment within the college needs to be checked regularly to ensure they are fit for purpose. Things such as a lift has to be regularly checked, as people could get stuck if it's not maintained. A check on protective clothing is carried out to make sure they're all fit for purpose and nobody can get harmed. Computer and electrical equipment needs to be regularly checked, and then the date needs to be recorded for future reference. The computers at NNC are checked every 2 years to make sure they present no risk of things such as fire. That's it.